Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. So, this time we are going to cover a very interesting topic and something which you will always find in the newspaper. And unfortunately, people are not very well versed with how to take this and how not to take this. So, we're going to cover a topic which is business combination, the valuation of the earnouts with and without acquisition accounting. You can carefully see here. This side, Rahul Magan here. I am working as a Chief Executive Officer of a Treasury Consulting LLP, which is a limited liability partnership firm incorporated in India. We are currently working on the 6th business domain and hope we will extend to 10 by the end of 2017. Our website's on the way. And you're always welcome to contact us at Treasury Consulting LLP @gmail.com or rahulmagan8 @gmail.com. My mobile number is known to everybody, which is 9899242978. So again repeating, today we're going to cover a very interesting topic. This is business combination, valuation of earnouts with and without acquisition accounting. Now what do you mean by an acquisition accounting? First we need to understand what do you mean by an acquisition accounting. Acquisition accounting is an accounting which is basically to be taken care of when you are buying any company, when you are merging two companies, when you are basically acquiring any company. So in this we are taking a very hypothetical example. Suppose let me write this in interest of space. Suppose TCS buy Murex. Now Murex is nothing but a treasury management system company. Murex and Calypso, one of the best known treasury management system company. We have of Dow Jones also, and there are a few others as well. Now what happened? Suppose today, which is 23rd of July 2016, you bought Murex. Suppose the valuation of Murex is $1.6 billion, which is you paid, and the net of assets you acquired is $1.3 billion. So net is approximately $0.3 billion, which is approximately $300 million. So this is net, but we cannot say this is a net. We will say how much is the goodwill. Goodwill is $0.3 billion. Now Murex said to TCS that fine, we want to sell our business to you, but today once you are buying our business, we are making a software, not a software, we are making a TMS or a treasury management system which will help you in having best offers in foreign exchange market. So this is going to be an advanced version of what we are offering today. So we would need this software was scheduled to launch in 2017, and once it would come, it would offer a better highlight to treasury management system. Now TCS won't agree with this. TCS is saying you are creating this software. It would come in 2017. By that time, the market for treasury management system would change. So TCS is going to put a lot of permutations and combinations, different buts to Murex. But Murex is adamant. So Murex is saying, let's have an earnout. Now what is an earnout? In IFRS 3, which is business combination, earnout means nothing but, what is an earnout? Earnout is nothing but a contingent consideration, shortly known as contingent considerations in accounting domain. Some people refer earnout as, of course, a contingent consideration. There are two types of earnout. One is an equity earnout, second is a cash earnout. And third is a compensation earnout. Some people will refer this as comp earnouts. Now how are we going to handle this? Today we are taking an example of a cash earnout. TCS will say, okay fine, let's have an earnout. I am writing here in the interest of space. Let's have an earnout where the value is $1 billion. To be payable in 2018, say December. So TCS is saying you are launching a software by December 2017. By the time, of course, you would be a part of TCS. So this would not be a Murex. This is a TCS Murex. And if the value of if the software would bring say 3 billion, if the software would bring the revenue of 3 billion, then there would be an earnout of $1 billion. Of course, only time will tell how the things would move. Nobody knows right now. So how to value an earnout? That is the biggest question. Now we're going to consider two cases. Case number A, Without closing of the acquisition accounting, case number B, sorry, this is pre-closing of acquisition accounting and post-closing of acquisition accounting. In the pre-closing of the acquisition accounting, we are assuming that the acquisition accounting has not yet closed, and the post we are assuming that acquisition accounting has been closed. We are going to introduce a term which is known as earnouts as well, right? So this $1 billion of the earnout is going to be present values. Please note carefully, that is the biggest gray area in India, because nobody know how to do the valuation of an earnout. There are various third parties, there are big fours, there are few people who are there in the market, those who do the valuation of an earnout, but exactly people don't know how to do it. So it is unquestionable, something which people don't question it, people do not want to question it. It's something which is going on, a lot of stuff, not to mention on the video, right? So what happened, you said that the earnout is of $1 billion and present value of the earnout is, I'm making a sense, is 500 million. Now how much of the net of assets you acquired? You acquired the net of asset, which is on the balance sheet on the asset side. Net of assets you acquired is 1.3 billion. Goodwill is how much? 0.3 billion. And then you're going to add the present value of the earnout here, which is 500 million. Right? And here on the liability side, because it's a contingent consideration to be payable, you are going to mention here earnout as 500 million. Note carefully, there is no impact on the P&L here because acquisition accounting has not yet closed. Now suppose the next period, because you are going to close your books every month, every quarter, every year. Next month the present value we started was 500 million, and now the next month the present value has reduced to 450 million. Now this will again change. Goodwill remains intact, so the valuation of the goodwill keeps swinging. So this 500 million would be replaced by 450 million, and here it is to be replaced by 450 million, and this would keep moving. So there won't be any impact in the P&L by the time you are not closing an acquisition accounting. But unfortunately, what is happening that, or fortunately or unfortunately, corporates across the globe are closing their acquisition accounting very soon, within a month. So 99.99% of the cases would come here when the acquisition accounting is closed. So I repeat, in this, TCS bought Murex at an agreed price of $1.6 billion. The net of asset, software, IP, ET, and etc. they got is 1.3 billion. Rest 0.3 billion, or approximately $300 million, is the goodwill, which we recorded here. Net asset 1.3, goodwill is here. Now on the liability side, now Murex said to TCS that we are coming up with a very enhanced version of our treasury management system. Would be better than Calypso, just an hypothetical example. However, it will become by 2017. So TCS said, perfect, let's have an earnout of $1 billion. Now if they're going to have an earnout, now this is 1 billion. Earnout is of two types: equity earnout, cash earnout, compensation earnout. Now here we are taking an example of a cash earnout. In the upcoming videos, we would have an example of the equity earnouts also. So they are saying, if there would be an additional sale of $3 billion because of this enhanced version of a software, we will give you $1 billion as a cash. Of course, cash to the promoters, those who already sold their stake in Murex to TCS, right? Now, net of asset is 1.2 billion, goodwill is 0.3, net is 1.6. You're going to record earnout here at 500 million and 500 million here, because you are going to calculate the present value, which we assume as $500 million. Please note carefully that present value is very difficult to calculate. I again repeat, it's a very gray area. Nobody knows how the things would go, and etc. You all understand that. Note one thing carefully, that as the present value rises, the probability of payment goes higher. As the present value falls, the probability of payment goes lower. And here it's more. How it works. Now we're going to take an example, case B, post acquisition accounting. Suppose at the end of first month the consolidation happened. Now there is a company called TCS Murex. TCS Murex. It's not Murex, it's TCS Murex. But it happened that you know that on the asset side you have $1.3 billion of assets. You have the goodwill of $0.3 billion that you recorded here. Plus you are going to record the earnout at the present value initially, which was 500 million, and earnout is going to be here at 500 million. Now immediately first month the valuation of the earnout decreases to 450 million. Now there is a scene. The scene is that because the present value has decreases to 450 million, it means the probability of paying is reducing. It means that previously it was 500 million, now it is 450 million. It means the probability of payment is reducing. So what would happen? You would make a change here, which is 450 million here, and then equivalent entry, because it is a gain for the company, it would go on the credit side. It will say 50 million will come here, and this is known as earnings surprise. This is known as earnings surprise. That is why if you read the Big Four documents carefully, they will tell you that earnouts are always an earnings surprise, because they always consider that you would be able to close the acquisition accounting very fast. Now suppose after 450 million it would increases to 550 million. Now you would change here 550 million. Now there is a probability that there is a probability of a payment, so this $100 million would come here. And this would always be in mathematics zero sum game. So I repeat, in this goodwill would remains intact, including this. So here goodwill would be your goodwill plus initial present value of an earnout. I refer this as E. That would remains intact, and the change in the present value of an earnout would keep swinging in the P&L. So it will go to the, if the probability decreasing, it will go to the credit side. If the probability is increasing, it will go on the debit side. This is how an earnout acquisition is happening. And earnout is a very difficult concept, because it is sometimes based upon cash flow, sometimes is based upon equity, sometimes is based upon compensation, sometimes in compensation also it is based upon restricted stock, sometimes it is based upon ESOP, and so on and so forth. So valuation of an earnout is not easy, but this video of course would let you know how you're going to do the accounting of an earnout, because earnout accounting is very, very important. You are always welcome to connect with us at Treasury Consulting LLP @gmail.com. Our alternate ID is Rahul Magan 8 @gmail.com, and my contact number is known to most of you, which is 9899242978. You can WhatsApp us, email us, you can do, and you can contact us in any ways. Our website is on the way, and hope Treasury Consulting LLP would come up the valuation of earnouts as a business practice very soon. Thank you, and have a good luck.